In the bustling heart of Africa, where the sun kisses the earth with a warmth that feels like a giant hug, there exists a vibrant tapestry of cultures, languages, and, of course, humor. Now, if you've ever been to an African gathering, you know that laughter is the universal language that transcends all barriers. It's the glue that holds families together during those long, sometimes awkward family reunions, where the aunties are competing to see who can roast their children the hardest. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, look at you. Still single? At your age? Even the goats in the village are getting married. But that's the beauty of it, right? In Africa, we have this uncanny ability to turn our struggles into hilarious anecdotes. Take, for instance, the daily hustle of getting public transport. You haven't lived until you've crammed yourself into a matatu, which is basically a minibus that's seen better days. It's like a game of Tetris, but instead of blocks, you're trying to fit in as many people as possible, while the driver swerves like he's auditioning for a Fast and Furious movie. And then there's the conductor, who's shouting destinations louder than a market vendor trying to sell ripe tomatoes. Nairobi! Nairobi! Get in! Only 5 shillings. Why you speak? Don't sit. And just when you think you've reached your limit, someone decides to bring in a live chicken. Yes, a chicken. Because why not? It's not a real matatu experience until you're squished between a lady with a basket of vegetables and a rooster that's clearly having an existential crisis. You can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Now, humor in Africa isn't just about the slapstick or the ridiculous situations we find ourselves in. It's also deeply rooted in our cultures and traditions. Satire plays a significant role in how we address societal issues. You see, we have this unique way of critiquing our leaders and the systems in place, often through comedy. Ever heard of a certain politician who promised to build roads but ended up building a mansion instead? Well, we'll turn that into a song, a skit, or even a viral meme. Roads? What roads? We're just paving the way to my new house. And let's not forget about the internet. Social media has become the new stage for African comedians. Platforms like Twitter and TikTok are flooded with content that not only entertains, but also educates. You'll find comedians dissecting the latest political blunders, poking fun at cultural stereotypes, and even addressing serious issues like corruption and poverty, all while making you laugh until your stomach hurts. It's like a digital village square where everyone gathers to share their stories, their laughter, and sometimes their tears. Speaking of cultural stereotypes, let's talk about the infamous African time. You know what I mean. If you're invited to an event that starts at 2 p.m., you might as well show up at 4 p.m. and you'll still be early. Oh, you're here? We thought you were going to show up in a week. It's a running joke that we all share, and while it may frustrate some, it's a testament to our laid-back approach to life. We prioritize relationships over schedules, and honestly, that's something we could all learn from. But let's be real for a moment. Amidst the laughter, we also face serious challenges. Poverty, corruption, and inequality are issues that plague many African nations. Yet, instead of wallowing in despair, we choose to laugh. We find humor in the most unexpected places. Ever seen a man trying to sell you a genuine Rolex for $5? Or a street vendor who insists that his fresh mangoes are the best in the world, despite being slightly bruised? It's a survival mechanism, really. Laughter helps us cope with the harsh realities of life, and it's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always a reason to smile. And then there's the generational divide. Oh boy, if you thought the OK Boomer trend was something, wait until you hear how we navigate the conversations between the older and younger generations in Africa. The youth are often seen as the rebels, challenging traditional norms, while the elders cling to their customs like they're holding onto a lifeline. It's a comedy of errors, really. You're going to wear that to church? In my day, we wore our Sunday best. And just when you think you've settled into a comfortable rhythm of understanding, the youth hit back with their own brand of humor. Auntie, your Sunday best is literally a relic from the 80s. You should see what we're wearing. It's called fashion. It's a clash of cultures, a blend of old and new. And it's hilarious to watch. Now let's talk about food, because in Africa, food is not just sustenance. It's a cultural experience. We have dishes that tell stories, that bring people together, and yes, that spark debates. You can always count on a family gathering to ignite the age-old argument. Is jollof rice better in Nigeria or Ghana? Spoiler alert, it's always a heated discussion, and no one ever really agrees. But that's the beauty of it. The laughter, the banter, the friendly jabs, it's all part of the experience. And let's not forget about the infamous chicken or beef question at every wedding. You can almost hear the collective gasp when the bride and groom announce the menu. Chicken? Again? Didn't we just have that at the last wedding? It's a rite of passage, really. Every wedding has its own unique flavor, and the food choices often reflect the couple's personalities. As we dive deeper into the realm of cultural satire, we must acknowledge the role of storytelling. African storytelling is a rich tradition that has been passed down through generations. We use humor to convey lessons, to entertain, and to preserve our history. There's something magical about sitting around a fire, listening to an elder recount tales of bravery, mischief, and love, all laced with humor. It's a reminder that laughter is a powerful tool for connection. In the digital age, we've adapted this tradition to modern platforms. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and social media allow us to share our stories with a global audience. Comedians like Trevor Noah and Michael Blackson have taken African humor to international stages, showcasing the richness of our culture while making people laugh. It's a beautiful fusion of tradition and modernity, and it's inspiring to see our stories resonate with audiences far and wide. Now, let's not forget about the role of fashion in our comedic narratives. African fashion is a vibrant expression of identity, and it often finds its way into our jokes. Picture this: a man strutting down the street in a colorful kente cloth outfit, only to be stopped by a friend who says, "Is that your Sunday best, or are you auditioning for a music video?" Laughter erupts, and suddenly, that outfit becomes a symbol of pride and humor. And then there's the phenomenon of Instagram influencers. You know, the ones who make it seem like their lives are perfect, filled with glamour and luxury. Meanwhile, we're sitting at home, eating our ugali, and wondering how they afford those designer clothes. The satire comes in when we create our own versions of their posts. Here's me, living my best life with a plate of beans and a side of dreams. It's a humorous reminder that social media is often a highlight reel, not a reflection of reality. As we navigate through the complexities of modern life, we must also address the impact of globalization. With the world becoming more interconnected, we see a blend of cultures that sometimes leads to confusion. Wait, is that a taco stand or a samosa vendor? It's a culinary mashup that sparks laughter and curiosity. We're learning to embrace the fusion of flavors while still holding on to our roots. And let's talk about the influence of Western media. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it opens doors for African stories to be told on a global stage. On the other hand, it often perpetuates stereotypes that don't represent the diversity of our experiences. Oh, you're from Africa? Do you live in a hut? Cue the eye roll. We use humor to dismantle these misconceptions, to show the world that Africa is not a monolith, but a mosaic of cultures, languages, and yes, even Wi-Fi. And as we wrap up this journey through African comedy and cultural satire, let's remember that laughter is a powerful tool. It unites us, it heals us, and it helps us navigate the complexities of life. Whether we're laughing at our own misadventures or poking fun at the absurdities of life, we're creating a space for connection and understanding. So, the next time you find yourself in a room filled with laughter, remember that you're witnessing a beautiful exchange of stories, cultures, and humor. Embrace it, celebrate it, and never underestimate the power of a good laugh. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, navigating this crazy, beautiful journey called life, one joke at a time.